Hello, Sayeed. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Arif.
How are you, Sayeed?
All good. How are you?
I'm very good. Good to see you. Or we are going to continue the discussion that we had, in the last week,
Yeah,
right?
last week.
When you
Yeah.
were speaking about comfort zone, right?
Yes.
So we understood why people get stuck into comfort zone and why they stay there for a very long time, and why they you know keep lowering their standards, their the ways they do things until they get into that deep trench from where it is no way down and there is no way left other than going up.
Yes.
Right? And then people take action. So we also know that people take action only for two reasons.
Hmm.
Either they're they take action because of the pleasure they see
Or the
in the
pain they feel.
future, or
Yes.
they want to avoid some pain,
Agree. Agree.
right? so
Yes.
so when people get stuck in the comfort zone,
Hmm.
they are actually breaking their threshold, breaking their limit of absorbing pain, how much pain they can absorb, how much pain they can take. And when it is unbearable, then they start taking action. Right? So
Yes.
we will understand from you uh, how and why people start taking action, and then what happens. So as we discussed last time, there are reasons for being in the comfort zone. People fail to upskill themselves. People keep avoiding situations, new challenges. They don't take adequate initiatives so that they come up. They have limiting thoughts, and we have discussed it all in the last session. Now I want you to understand that people have already reached to their lowest part, lowest mindset, lowest beingness. Okay, I can see the matching T-shirt with the cup. Right, everything is matching, right? Good. So, so when they have already reached to their lowest level, what happens then?
Well, thank you, Arif. First of all, thanks for having me here, and thanks for the audience who have joined and who have continued to support us. uh, in life, actually, it often happens that people who are very successful have also gone to the lowest levels in their lives. And as they say, you go to the bottom of the pit, and from where there is no further you can go, then you will have no choice but to fight back, and you fight back. And that's natural human tendency. Okay. But then what happens is when you start to fight back, when you want to get out of the comfort zone, finally you said, I have had enough of this. I want to get out of this. So in that moment, what happens is there is always a skepticism. Okay. That start to play. Okay. So here you are faced with a lot of you will enter into another zone which is called a fear zone. Okay. So this is like
So
a
what
bridge.
do you mean that people who were there in comfort zone, now they get into another zone when they are trying to come up? They get
Come
into
on.
fear zone.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, okay,
Because see,
that's
for,
interesting.
uh, for anything good to happen, you have to pass through some challenges. Okay. And this is the bridge. And this bridge is full of challenges and full of fears. Okay. This is like a trench full of crocodiles. And you have to pass through them to get to the other side. Okay. So you sure need a clear vision, strong will, a good lot of courage, and perseverance to get to the other side. And you start your journey, and you need to go. You have no choice but to get to come back into the comfort zone again. What happens in our life is that when we start something, we don't know everything. We know something that we want to start. We want to get to the other side. So there is some unknown positivity or unknown what called optimism about it. When you start doing it, you will start to see the challenges within that. Okay. So when you see the challenges, then these fears will start to attack you. Okay. Or if you, there are a lot of fears. Okay. They will start to attack you. If you succumb to these fears, you will get into something called known pessimism. You are with unknown optimism. Now you have come into a known pessimism. You know that these are the challenges. You know that you have to cross through this, and it is causing you, it is making you pessimistic about the objective that you have in front of you. You need to be strong and pursue. Be persistent to get to the other side. If you don't, then what happens is you'll come back to this square one again, comfort zone. Then again, you have to make a lot of effort to get out of the comfort zone. Then again, you will face this. So this is the cycle that goes on.
Negative cycle, the vicious one.
Vicious cycle. That's the thing.
So, somebody who is stuck in comfort zone will go into the deepest pit, and when they try to come up, they have to uh, face the fears, right? So that's very fearful. So I want to understand from you, Saeed. So somebody who has come into the zone of fear or fear zone. So what are the kind of fears that he has to face? He or she has to face.
Well, Arif, actually, these are all very common things, but at the same time, they're quite serious things because they sound normal. That's what we everyday experience, but we don't realize the intensity of it, the effect of it. For example, uh, as a kid, as a school in my schools, colleges, I had tremendous inhibition to do anything, even to tuck my shirt in. I was very shy to do that. So going onto the stage is totally no go area. Like so, this is you. There is something called inhibition, which stops you from doing things. Then, when you want to try something new, whenever you want to achieve something more, that means you need to put more effort. You need to put that extra effort. You need to put that extra hour into it. And often people avoid this, and they think this is unnecessary extra work for me. What they don't realize is this investment now can lead to, that can open another door somewhere else, can open totally a different dimension to your life. But not realizing this, you don't even put in this effort, means you are totally, again, you are making sure that you stay in the comfort zone. So this fear, and the fear of, like, anything new you try, it is not something usual thing, right? It is a new thing that you're trying. So it will be harder for you. At least initially, it will be hard for you. So if you fear the hardship, that means your default, what you're saying is, I will rather stay there. That means you're pushing yourself into comfort zone. Then, of course, as I said, when you start something, everything is not known to you. There is something called unknown things. So there is always that fear of unknown. For example, you take up a new job, right? And you walk into the new office. There are a lot of new people there. The systems are new, probably. The way the things are new. Everything is new. So before you go there, you will have all these fears in you. The unknown, what will happen? What kind of people they will be? How strict or how good that office is, or that environment is. All those fears will be there. So anything you try to do new, this fear of unknown is already behind your mind, knocking you, and there is that causes you unease, right? It makes you feel unease. You're not comfortable. But the problem here is, as they say, you need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Then only there is progress, because not everything in life is comfortable, because your comfort will come when you cross this. Again, this is the bridge that you need to cross. And one of the main reasons why we don't try anything new is that we are afraid of failure. Okay, that to some extent is understandable, that you are afraid of failure. Okay, because even though it is wrong, because failure in itself is not a failure, because in the process you're learning something. So you need to change your perspective on how you see that. But let me come to the other part of it. You are more afraid of the shame associated with that failure than the failure itself. Okay, that's the thing that is keeping you there. Oh, if I try this, if I fail, it's a matter of shame. How can I face people? What will I tell people? So better not do it. I'm fine like this. So in other words, what you are more concerned about other people's opinion. Those people who doesn't matter in your life actually, because they are not real relatives. They are not in your life. They may be somebody else. They are outsiders. But yet you are valuing their opinion so much high, or you are giving too much importance to their opinion, that you are not trying, you're doing what you're supposed to do. So this is all what it is doing. It is depriving you of the success that you can have, that you deserve, that you can achieve. So these are the fears. I mean, as you must have understood this, when we hear this, it all looks quite common. It is in fact common, but then the kind of damage it is doing to you, you don't realize. Okay, the intensity, the phenomena it has. So that's what we need to realize, that when we realize and when we fight with it, you can one can easily not I won't say easily, but one can consciously make effort and get over this. Yeah.
Hearing you, I recognize, I had, I got reminded of one of the fears I had for a very, very long time from my early childhood to, till my corporate life. All through, I had this one fear. And that was that nobody should come and say or tell me to something, you know, to correct me or to improve something what that I have done. Or uh, it was something related to that I don't want to hear anything about my work or my own self from anybody. So I remember one of the teachers, and I really liked her. Um, she's still in contact with me. Okay, I'm talking about school days. Okay, and I didn't like to I didn't like to just run the answers. Okay, I didn't like this lot memory game. Okay, and I used to write my own answers. You know, after in my own words, and I didn't get good marks in English ever till that till one period. And this teacher came. She she wanted every student to write answers in his own words or her own words.
No.
And then so the game has changed now. So I became the topper in English now. Earlier I was at the bottom. Now I was at the top just because the teacher's
One teacher.
idea
Yeah.
and my ideas were matching. Okay, good. So that's how sometimes the environment uh, appreciates you or reward you.
Hmm.
Now this teacher had a habit of telling everybody that, okay, don't be so bold, don't be so bold. Okay. Now I got this. She never told me to be bold or something. Okay. But I corrected myself automatically that, okay, I should be bold. And I started taking bold steps in class, depending on what I understood of bold. Now this teacher came to me and she said, don't be so bold. So everything now turned around, and I was surprised that she wants everybody to be bold. And I heard her saying a lot of times, not once or twice, a lot of times to a lot of students. And now she's saying, don't be so bold. So what I realized very late that people are going to say and try to correct depending on what you are doing. They will try to, if you are very, very excited, they will try to calm you down, tone
Hmm.
down. And if you are low, if you are very humble, you are talking softly, they will ask you to Be strong, feel strong, say something strongly. Okay. So so when I had this realization, then I, you know, I would still listen to people, but then I would do things what I feel like, or what I have in mind. So it was, it took a lot of time, years and years, decades, to overcome that single fear. Okay. So at times it can be a long journey overcoming your fears. And when you are talking about the fears that people may have after, uh, you know, going into comfort zone or trying to come out of comfort zone, so I'm sure it will be a big challenge for some people to cross
Yeah,
those fears,
especially
overcome
the
those
one
fears.
you're talking about is common with every reformer, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, it
Yes.
looked like that. So Said, so now people are in this zone, which is fear zone. So what are the steps they can take so that they can come out of this fear zone faster, and they do not take decades like me? And when I say decades, I would say it took me almost 3 decades come out of
Mm,
this fear. That
mm.
what the people should not correct me. Okay. So I'm sure people would have different fears. So what are the simple ways so that they can come out of these fears, they can overcome these fears?
So, Arif, let's look at these things one by one. Like, for example, inhibition is a common thing with everybody, right? It is what it is actually is. It is a state of denial in our own mind, denial of your own capability, your own capacity. Okay. Yeah. It is also a state of rejection of uh, the expectations from the others, or rejection about uh, your the work demands, or rejection about what is normal for others. Like you have some strong mold for yourself, and you want everything to fit into that, which doesn't happen, right? So it's again, uh, it all depends on what's playing in your mind. So you need to bring mind shift here. You need to change this here. What you're playing in your mind. So it is not about what's happening outside, what others think. Okay, inhibition is about what it is about what I mean. You are too sensitive, or you are too what you call uh, too conscious about your surroundings. It could be people or whatever it is. Okay, while what is really playing here is what's inside your mind. So that need to change. So the the phenomena of this embarrassment or this inhibition, it lasts only till the moment you allow it in your mind. In other words, when you decide to stop it, you can stop it, because it's just a matter of you making a decision here. One of the ways to get over this again is to, whatever is causing you inhibition, try it more often, do it more often. Like, when I started work for the first time after college, uh, the company, we had this mock call system. Before you get into field, you do the mock calls in the office, right? So when I was doing the mock calls, I was the worst guy to do it, because I was feeling so much inhibition doing in front of my colleagues, making a sales call, behaving, acting. So one day even I said, "What? I'm not an actor to do this all this nonsense. Even when I go there, I'll talk, no problem. Why should I do it here?" But in other words, what I'm doing is I'm just trying to deny the fact here. So of course, over a period of time, I got over that, and I realized that is the first time I realized this work, and it doesn't work like this here. You need to do what you need to do. It's not college or school. So that's when I changed my perspective to it, and I got over it. So the more you expose to it, the more easily you can come out of it. Then the other thing is that every new thing comes with some hardship. It requires some extra effort, right? So you need to accept this. People often avoid walking that extra mile, putting in that extra hour to get over that fence. You are reaching to the fence. Okay. You want to come out of the comfort zone and you are reaching to that fence. And then you see the fence and it requires you to scale up. It requires you to put up that 1 hour more or a couple of hours more, some extra effort. And you tell yourself, why should I do this? Or I'm better like this. What it is doing, it is pushing you back to your comfort zone. So the very form of viewing your efforts required to achieve the better results, the success, as a pain or as an extra or as something that I need not do is a defeat in itself. Okay, so you need to again change this perspective. So this requires your mind shift, and you need to bring in a progressive thought. Okay, you are doing that extra effort now, but that is not the end. That is just a beginning. Your aim, your objective is far ahead. Okay, you want to do a lot more things in your life. And this is just opening one door for you. Okay, so you need to change your perspective again. So here the work here, if it feels like hardship, you will not be able to do it. So you need to change that perspective here. So change the perception, and then what you call it, as they say, there are no free lunches in this world. You need to pay for it. Like that, there are no free success here. There's no easy success here. You want success, if you want to achieve something in life, you need to put in that extra effort. Okay, do it. When you cross it, when you get over it, then you will find a smart way to do it. But first, put in that extra effort and get over that. That's important. Then, as we were saying, anything you try new, that's unknown to you, right? So when it is unknown, there is obviously fear associated with it. So the fear is because we focus too much on what can go wrong. Okay. While the chances are that what can go wrong and what can go right, the chances are same, depending on what kind of efforts you put in there. Again, you need to change your perspective. You need to change your mental, what do you call it, mindset. So one need to also remember that you are doing something today, you are comfortable doing it. But were you born with it? Were you doing it from day one? No. You started doing someday. And when you first time started it, you also felt uncomfortable. You are comfortable today doing that because you have been doing it for a while. Right? Similarly, when you are starting something new, it makes you uncomfortable. You will become comfortable doing it and you continue to do it. But if you give up, you will go back to your comfort zone and this will remain a new thing for you all the time. So what you were comfortable today was also uncomfortable some time back. So what is uncomfortable today will also become comfortable after some time. So you need to change that thought process again. And the unease, the uncomfort. So some amount of nervousness is common whenever you try to do anything. Even the routine things when you do, like especially people who work on precision engineering works, they feel uncomfortable, they feel uneasy whenever, I mean, n number of times you, like for example, public speaking. However good public speaking you are at public speaking, whenever you get onto the stage, you will have that amount of fear. And like, for example, myself, even though we have done it so many number of times, whenever I go onto the stage, there will be that fear, there will be that unease. I cannot do away with it. The important thing is, with all this, you need to still stand up and do what you're supposed to do. That's the thing. So how you can get over that is you expose more to it, you do it more often. Unease is a natural defense mechanism that your mind has built to protect you from what is uncomfortable. And that is the exact damn thing that you want to get over. So the only way you can get over that is explore more. So taking it as a learning experience and making the most of whatever that you're going through at that moment is the key here. And then you need to change your thought process as looking at it as a empowering experience rather than a troubling experience or an uneasy experience. See it as an empowering experience. Change your perspective again. Then, I mean, there is always, when you try to do something new or any new environment that you get into, what if I fail? That's the biggest thing. What if I fail? The fact is, there is not a single person on the face of this earth who has not failed in his life. Everybody has faced failure. This is, I mean, you can write it on the wall. So it feels better to continue with what you have to, what you have done to attempt something new. It's always, if you continue doing what you're doing, you'll feel at ease. This is a common thing, but you need to change this thought process, because this thought process is already failing you, right? So one need to start with an attempt to succeed, not just to try. Okay, so which means that you need some endurance, you need to face failures, you need to be resilient about it, and then succeed. So see the failure as not as a failure, but as an experience, as a learning process. It's a learning curve in your life, in your career, in whatever it is. And don't be too much, don't punish yourself too much for in case of failing a failure, because you're not alone. Everybody on this face of earth has failed sometime or another, and something or other. There's not a single person on this earth who has got everything, whatever he tried, it worked for him. No. And the real problem here is not the failure itself. What you are actually worried about is the shame associated with the failure. That's the thing. So the shame, the humiliation associated with it is what is leading you to keep yourself stuck or preventing you from attempting anything new. Again, this shame is coming from where? It is coming from somebody else's opinion about what you have done. See, this is all chain effect here. And that somebody may have nothing to do with your life, may have nothing to do with your career, may have nothing to do with where you want to reach in your life. So you are giving too much importance to this, and you're making a monster out of mole. So people think about what people think about you doesn't matter. What matters is what you think about yourself. So if you think that you can't do, if you think that I'm a failure, if you think that I can't do this, you will never do this. Right? So what brings food onto your table is not others' opinion. It is your work, it is your effort. So focus on that. Don't worry about what others are doing. So if you pay too much attention to all those things, it will force you to stay into that comfort zone, in spite of the fact that you're trying to get out of it. So the key here is you need to do what it takes to achieve, irrespective of what others say about you, because you know where you're going and where you want to go in life. And success always comes with some responsibility, some accountability. So there is something called a fear of success. So success often means you work at a higher level, you are promoted, you are more responsible now, you have people under you for whom you are responsible, right? So which could means it is more, your work is more intense, okay, it is more valuable, and along the way you have some challenges. So it all depends on how far ahead you're seeing in your life, because If you fear this responsibility, if you fear success, and because success is coming with responsibility and accountability, you want to avoid that. In order to avoid that, which means you stay in your comfort zone. Okay, I am better like this. Why I take this responsibility? Then I am answerable to so many people. Then I am responsible for other people also. So if you keep thinking like this, that means you are staying in your comfort zone. The way to get out of it is that you develop a clear vision for yourself. How far ahead are you seeing in your life? Where you are now today and where you want to reach over a period of time. Okay. So what legacy you want to leave in this life? Because maybe you are right in a way that you are fine the way you are. You are just comfortable. You are probably getting a decent salary. Things are fine. But end of the day, is that what you want? Is that the vision for your life? Is that what you want to leave behind? So if you ask these questions to yourself, then you'll find the answer. And then that will motivate you, or that will inspire you to do more. You need to be careful about what you are, what is the exchange here. Okay, comfort or future.
Thank you, Saeed, for making us understand how somebody can overcome the fears they might be having while coming out of the comfort zone. So there can be uh, various fears, whether fear of success, fear of failure, fear of not fear of unknown, right? And many other fears. And if they follow the path that you have suggested, the step that you have suggested, I'm sure they will break those fears and overcome and move to the next level, which is we are going to discuss the next week. Okay, what that is when somebody moves from comfort zone, they fall into the fear zone, and then what comes next. We are going to talk about that the next week. Uh, so till the time that people stay and take action about something, because action is what actually gives them results. It's not what they are thinking in the mind, what philosophies they follow, who they are listening to, are they motivated or not. But whether you are taking an action because of pain, avoiding pain, or because you want to have some pleasure in your life, add pleasure in your life, uh, you need to take an action, right, to get a result. So, is there any action that you want the audience to take this week, which can help them overcome fear?
Yeah, I would like them to first of all, one need to realize that, okay, the responsibility starts with you. This is the first thing. It is not on somebody else. Okay, so responsibility starts. It's your own self. It's your responsibility. It's your life. So don't blame environment. Don't blame your company, your organization, your surroundings. Your progress, your growth, your success, your life is your sole responsibility. Nobody else.
Oh, Sayed, I want to interrupt you here. When you talk about blame, blaming people, blaming others is such a pleasurable thing, right? People take pleasure out of it. Okay, I'm not at fault. You are the one. Okay, you should be responsible. You should correct it. You should do the um,
This, yeah,
you should do the work.
that is because we don't want to own it, right? We don't want to own it. Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, and this is what it is. It is your responsibility, and it is your sole responsibility, and that's period. No, no, nothing else. So, what you can do for this week until we meet again is that try to identify. We have talked about so many fears. We have talked about so many ways in which you can be in a comfort zone, right? So, try to identify which are these things you associate with, which are these things that you are unknowingly, you are doing it or you are into it, but you're not realizing it. Try to realize this, because awareness is the key. That is the first thing, first step. When you become aware, then you can take some action about it. So what action you can take and how you can take, maybe we can discuss later. But first, bring that awareness into yourself. Are you in a comfort zone? A. If you are in a comfort zone, what is keeping you there? And what fears do you have to get out of the comfort zone? What is stopping you? Identify these things, work on it, write it down. Okay. Then let's discuss this again next week when we meet again.
That's great, Saeed, and thank you for all your wisdom that you have shared with us. And next week we are going to discuss, take the uh, subject further, and I'm sure people are taking this journey from going from coming from the comfort zone to, and they're leveling up. Okay, so see you next week, and thank you everyone who have joined. uh, Take care. Bye bye. Have a great
Thank you,
weekend.
Arif.
And
Thank
I'm
you,
sure
Arif.
people who are in India, they have celebrated Holi. So happy Holi, everyone. Have a wonderful time. Bye bye.
Happy Holiday and have a good time. Thank you.